So, in this video, I'm going to be proving that raising corporation tax actually creates inflation. Now, I know this is a touchy subject for some people, but please try and focus and keep an open mind as you watch this video. We're going to be using visualizations to make it more intuitive and more interesting, easier to understand as well. And the most common argument I find on corporation tax is that it's a moral obligation and the corporations have to pay their fair share and whatever else. You need to understand that a corporation is your local laundrette, it's your local cafe, it's the guy down the road trying to make his small engineering business into a big engineering business. So it's all businesses in the UK. It's not just those big, bad, awful people that are doing all the evilness or whatever that we're trying, or that some people are trying to target. That's a separate issue, right? When you raise corporation tax, it's these businesses that are the most affected. Furthermore, because of what I'm about to say about the fact that this raises inflation, it's all people in the nation, including those poor people who were told these taxes are meant to help, that have to pay these higher prices. And if you actually went and spoke to them and asked them, would you rather pay higher prices and have the government spend money on you, or pay lower prices, keep more of that money, and you get to spend that money on yourself the way you want to spend it, you would find that they always choose the second option, because that's the best way. You give, well, in their mind, in that scenario, they would think that that's the best way because they get to spend it on whatever they want to spend on. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, let's just say this module here represents a cafe. Now, the basic Python code is here, and to those that are unfamiliar with Python, this is just basic mathematics. Product cost equals cost plus energy cost, and all of these other ones are slightly different calculations for other important business metrics, and the outputs come out of the other side and we can read them on this side. Now, there's a lot of numbers there. That's more for anyone who's interested in seeing what you can see with this, but we're only going to focus on the sale price, the total profit, and the total cost. These are the only numbers we need to worry about for this video. Now, going in, we have the cost. So let's just say this is a local cafe with one employee who happens to own the business as well. So there's no real employee cost here. But the costs are the rent, the ingredients, and whatever else, the things that he needs to buy for the business. Then, energy costs, so that's heating, basically gas, electricity, so heating, cooking, gas, air conditioning, all that stuff that he needs to do. These are all averaged per sale, right? So if you were to take all of these costs, divide it by the number of sales for the month, this is what you'd get, right? In terms of cost and energy cost. Now, the sale price, this is the average sale price. So the average customer that comes in will pay £4.15 for his coffee and whatever else. Tax, this is the corporation tax that we spoke about. At the moment, it's 19% as it used to be in the UK. And we'll just leave these numbers as they are, but let's just increase the sale price to about £4.49. Let's just say the average customer comes in, spends £4.49 per transaction, per visit even. So this is how the company is. What the company does or makes is £6,000 or £6,700 per year, per month, yeah, in total revenue after everything, taxes, all of that stuff. And the corporation tax per sale is about, when you divide it per the sale, is about 33 pence. So corporation tax is costing 33 pence for every sale made. Now the government comes along and says, you know what, we want to raise corporation tax, and we want to raise it to, sorry, let me drag this down. we want to raise it to 26%. By the way, I know I've put percentage here, but I've left it in decimal, so 0.26 in this scenario is 26%. So what does that mean? For the same sale price, our profit has gone down from 6.7 thousand per month to about 6.1 thousand. So now I, as a business owner, need to solve this problem, because I need to keep my profits stable as they were, because I was planning on saving for certain things, and I don't know if sales are going to be good next month, so I need to make sure that I'm still able to keep things going, pay the rent, and if I had employees, keep paying the employees' salaries, because, well, they don't work for free, do they? So, with that in mind, I, the business owner, need to go to phase 3. So we'll say this is all phase 1, stable, phase 2, government's commitment to higher corporation taxes, and now we're in phase 3, where I will change my sale price to make what I was making before. So I'll take what I was making before, which is this one, and I will tamper with the sale price. So if I raise all my prices of certain things, £4.65 will be the average sale price this time. That will get me approximately the same margins as before, and that means that I have had to inflate my prices. Let's calculate what the inflation is here. Take the new price, plug it in there. We'll take the original price, which is that, and we find it's 0.035, which means 3% inflation, almost 4%. I've left this calculator in decimal. There's the calculation there. I left it in decimal so it's easier to multiply. Anyway, so just note that it's not 0.03%, it's actually 3%. Now, that's not the end of the story, unfortunately. You would think that it is, but it's not. See, this company buys things from other companies like energy and ingredients, and those companies also pay corporation tax, and we can assume that they have been affected by this increase in corporation tax by approximately the same amount, and have had to inflate their prices by approximately the same amount. So, scenario 4. You know what? We'll do this. Sorry. In scenario 4, we will inflate the cost prices. So the energy companies pay corporation tax and have had to inflate their prices. Let's just plug the inflation in here, and again into this one, and then let's take the costs, plug them in here, and then the energy costs, plug them in here, and plug them into their corresponding things, and we find that the total profit is now 6,300, which is lower than our original profit, which was 6,700. So, what must we do, or can we do as the business owner? We must inflate our prices again. Now, let's do that, because we want to keep the profit as it was. Plug that in there. And where's the original profit? There, we'll keep it on the left side. And we'll stick our sell price here and tamper with it to match. Okay, £4.75. So we've gone from an average sale price of £4.49 to an average sale price of £4.75. And that means that our inflation has actually gone from, whoops, 0 to almost 6%. This is why raising corporation taxes actually raises inflation, and low tax nations actually have cheaper products and cheaper goods, because companies don't have to spend as much on the government. So bear that in mind next time you're voting, because when you vote for rises in corporation tax, you're actually voting for a rise in your own prices. So you're paying for things that you don't even necessarily get, because the government doesn't necessarily spend it on the things that you want them to spend it on. And if the argument is that you don't want them to spend it on you, you want them to spend it on other people who need it more, well, those people also pay these inflated prices, and so they are paying for things that the government doesn't necessarily give them either. So try and understand going forward, if you agree with the things that you see here, that a corporation is not a person. So it is not really, what would you say? It's not really about fair and unfair. It's more about looking at the facts. If you raise their costs, they have to raise their prices, and that means you have to pay the higher prices. The other thing we could also look at is energy prices. I'm not going to look at it in this video, but you can imagine that if anything happens to raise the price of energy, all businesses in the chains in every nation, or in the nations affected, have to raise their prices, because they can't possibly make any profit selling for lower prices if their energy costs have gone up. They have to make cuts or raise prices, and or a combination of things. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Done.